What's up guys, DJ Mike James coming at you. This is the Keaide programmable, SD card programmable animated 3D party laser, and I'm going to talk to you about that. What's up guys, DJ Mike James coming at you. Friends over at Keaide sent us over a SD card programmable 3D party laser. We're going to get into it with you here. There is SD card programmable. Little special shoot for us today. We are at the beautiful Dowden Fine Arts Center at Eastern Illinois University, filming this in the Black Box Theater. Hopefully we're going to get some pretty good effects when we do get this laser up and running and on for you. I was able to coordinate with the department chair here of theater and lighting. Keaide wanted me to do a comprehensive overview of the laser software and programming software for the SD card, and we'll get into that here in just a little bit. What's up guys, DJ Mike James coming at you. Welcome back to the channel. Not too long ago I was sent a SD programmable laser by a company, Sala, or subsidiary of theirs, Keaide, and I'm here at the Dowden Fine Arts Center with Nick Shaw, who is actually the department chair, lighting engineer. I wanted some help navigating this laser controller software, which we are going to give you guys a look at that. There are some limitations to this software, and it's a little bit persnickety. I kind of want to walk you through that. I know if any of you have watched Learn Lizard's video regarding this, the laser software and how he programmed it, he did a phenomenal job of simplifying exactly what we're capable of doing with said software, since we don't believe that this software is actually made or designed for this specific laser. We think it's possibly a generic laser controller software that's we're able to use a few features of it to possibly manipulate and save some laser functions on the Keaide SD programmable laser. Nick, I appreciate you having you here with me today, taking the time out of your busy schedule. Again, all of your help is greatly appreciated as we get into the laser software and kind of show you what it can and can't do and some of its limitations. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the Keaide laser. The build quality on it is not bad. I don't have the specs on me as far as what the wattage is on this laser. If I was guessing, it'd be a half watt, more than likely, considering that I run Shed's 1 watt lasers, plus we have the 3 watts. You've seen the programmable 6 watts, which those lasers are sick. And then we have this little guy right here. I do have it already unboxed. I did want to see, they did send me 2 of them because I like to run a balanced stage setup. I like to have a left and a right side. Of course, that's how I run my setups. So for them to be able to send me 2 of these is always a benefit, not only for them, but for you guys, because you get to see them a lot of times DMX together, running coinciding shows so that we can get them to pair up and possibly even have them run the same programming, or possibly even run programming across the 2 of them. So I'm not going to go ahead and unbox this again because this one's already sealed up. We've got this one out and ready. Bracket had to be put on. I do want to kind of go through this with you. We do have our IR remote for our IR remote, our visual lens here, fan on the top. If we flip this around, you can see I've already got it plugged in. We've got power in, we have a power switch, our menu button, DMX in and out, and our SD card insert. And then of course in our menu we have up and down on this. Now, one thing you might notice about this particular laser is that there is no control panel for you to actually see the functions of that. And interestingly enough, the control panel is the laser itself. So once you get it turned on and fired up, you'll be able to run through the menu options. It actually projects out of the laser, which is actually something, well, it's kind of a cool little thing, but not many of the companies actually do that. So let's get this fired up. All right, so as I was saying about the menus on this particular laser, crispy clear graphics on it, so I do like that. Like I said, if I had to guess, I would say this is probably a half watt laser. I am going to be using the remote here real quickly just so I can kind of go through this and see what we got going on. So if we get into our IR part of it, I am in the auto show, so it's going to run through its auto programming. We can get into our folders, of course, as we do that. Now, I do like that the lasers in this are really crisp. Again, not super powerful, and you know, there's a positive and negative to that, especially when it comes to laser safety. I know there's some guys out there, you know, running 6-watt lasers and crowd scanning people, and just no real concern for the health and safety of youngsters at homecoming dances and things along those lines. But but a laser like this, you know, you can get away with kind of doing some crowd scanning, because it is you know, a relatively low wattage laser. Again, with all lasers, guys, make sure you're taking safety seriously, because you can be hurt. You know, your eyes can be damaged. A lot of things, skin can be damaged, even by the lowest watt lasers. So follow your local laws and regulations on operating these lasers in public. And some of you behind the camera should know what I'm talking about. But
that part out.
oh, I'm sure.
No, you can leave it.
So then we can go into our pattern size here. Size our pattern here, so that gives us the option of doing that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this sized out. So you can see I increased the pattern size on there. Lots of things you can do in the remote itself. Again, on the back side of this, we do have the menu options. There's our DMX. We have our X, Y axes, so if you wanted to inadvertently, since this is a top only mount, and normally I would mount mine from the bottom, you can flip that X, Y axis, have all the laser programming, and have this actually turned over upside down. And I kind of like that. Of course, you can size it. I sized it out to 100%. Then we get into our program mode. You can see that there are different files in here. We'll get into that a little bit more here in this video as we get into the actual laser programming software. There are some pre-programmed files that they already have in here, and some of them are super cute. Like for Christmas, there's a couple different ones that are themed. Things along those lines, as I try to kind of see if I can program through these. ILD mode, and so you can see we did program a little pattern in here, which again, keep watching because you'll see how we got into that. We have our sound active mode, which a lot of times we do like to run in that. And of course, you'd be able to set your sound sensitivity and things along those lines as well. Our auto mode, which it'll run its auto show through the patterns. I'm not sure on this one if it actually cycles through the patterns and the animations, or if it just cycles through the patterns. I'm hoping that it does both, because it seems like the animations are all in program files. And if it's not actually accessing those program files through the auto show, then we'd have to actually just set those, but then that would allow you to create whatever show you wanted in the program files and then run those programs likewise. So the Keaide, I'd have to say 1/2 watt, 3D party laser, SD card programmable. We're gonna get into that.
All right, so the way this software works is you have to load in a bitmap file. That's the only type of file that it can read as a background image.
But that's limiting also, because you'll also need software to convert a JPEG or something along those lines into a bitmap.
Correct. So I believe you already found an image of the Punisher. So you took this, and then you said you opened it in PowerPoint?
I opened it in a PowerPoint on a slide, and I have a save as option, which I can save it as a PDF or whatever I need to save it as. And I saved it as a bitmap so that this program would read it.
Right. Other options would be something like Microsoft Paint, Photoshop.
Or even my logo, but my logo doesn't come out very well. So let's just go ahead and stick with the simpler.
All right, so this is a background image. This is the image we loaded in. And the first thing that you commonly would do is you would right click, and it asks you to trace the background. So when you ask it to do that, it's now gonna map out points on the bitmap to create basically it takes your background image and turns it into the points for the laser. And
it takes a couple of seconds because it should show up here once it's traced, correct?
Yeah, it will. It did not do a very good job of capturing this bitmap particularly. You want me to try a different one?
Let's try the other one.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select all, right click and select all, and that'll select all the points that it created when it did the tracing. And then I'm gonna hit trash can, and it's gonna delete those. Because if I don't delete them, they will stay there. We could try this one. Maybe that's why you've got two.
Might have been that worked out better.
It takes a couple of minutes to trace it. You can add more points to it. That's what the rest of these tools over here do. So when I did like a logo, it didn't catch all of them and I had to go in and add some points. There we go, that's better.
There we go. And similar to this, it will give you your laser point count. So like in the Light Elf app, when we did the Shed 6 watt laser, it could not be over 800 laser points. So talk about a very simplistic design. At least this is accepting something over an 800 laser point on the positive side.
So what it's done is it's mapped in. You can zoom in a little bit. I can zoom in a little bit. So basically what it's done is it has, too far. It's traced it and it's added a little dot for each change in plane, basically. And so right now these are all reading as white. So if you look over here in your frame list, it'll show you exactly what the output would be, which is a white laser outline. You can change those by selecting some or all of your points, and then you could convert those into another color. So if we want to do this like in red, you could.
Should be cool. I have a Halloween gig coming up soon. If I save this in the laser and I can run it through the program.
The best way I've found is just to do a select all, because it's really hard to select individual things. So I've got them selected all, and then if I make it red, it'll now be red. And you can see over here, this is the output. Now,
and that looks pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, and the other thing that you can do in the software is you can do multiple sort of slides and kind of animate to a degree. It's a very simplistic form of animation. So if I wanted to take the same one, I could go to frame and create a new frame, and they'll give me a new kind of slide over here in my deck. And then I could do it again. I can do another, let's just use the same image because the other one didn't work. I'll do a trace, so it's gonna give me all those points again. And then instead of having it be red this time, I'll just leave it as white. So what we would do is when the laser projects it, it'll give me red for a certain number of frames, and then it'll go to the white one.
So in this setup, will it overlap like we were doing, or will it be two separate?
I think it'll be two separate. It'll be one and the other, is my understanding of what it should do. So that's what you would do. So now we have a red slide, basically, and a white slide of the image. And then the next step would be to save. You're going to save it as save frames. And we're going to call it, you have to switch it to a ILD file, and it has to be 256 colors. That's what the manufacturer says. And we'll call it Punisher outline, but not a BMP. Okay. And it'll save it as an ILD file. So that's what it'll do. Now, the challenge of this software is there's this whole extra sort of suite down here that you can't use.
And this would be to animate the said design. We'd be able to rotate it or flip it or roll it or have it fly in from left to right diagonal, whatever, but none of this will work for this particular.
Right, you can take the time and do it, and I did some fun things in it. I spent an hour or two making very interesting animations.
And again, I appreciate your time.
But the challenge is, when you go to save that, you have to save it as what this calls a show file. And the laser does not recognize a show file. The only kind of file type it recognizes are these ILD files.
Or the PRG file.
Well, the PRG file goes with it.
Okay.
PLG file tells it what to do, basically. So now we've got those two, we've got it saved. It won't tell you afterward where you saved it.
Okay, well, let's go back. Maybe it saved it in the BMP origin file.
I think I do a save frame list as, yeah, it saved it to laser BMPs.
Okay, so it saved it into the BMP file where we got the.
Right there, Punisher outline ILD, right? That's the one?
Correct.
Good. So the good thing about the laser is that it saves your files onto a micro SD card. So you don't need to have a wireless connection or anything like that. You can just upload your files to the micro SD card that comes with it, and then you're good to go. So right here, these are the different program folders that have different sort of sets of slides or images that can be used. So we have to create a new one, and we're going to call it new folder. We'll call it Punisher. Isn't that what it was called?
Yes.
Punisher 1, Punisher, I don't remember. I'll have to update it. So then you grab your laser, so it's actually called Punisher Outline 1, that's the name. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna drop it into, now we have the folder called Punisher. We have to actually make it, they have to all match. So if my ILD file is Punisher Outline 1, space 1, we actually have to make the folder say the same thing, because if they don't perfectly match, it can't read them. So good on us for making it something nice and long and complicated. So Punisher Outline space 1. All right, and then, so you need the files that have the slides. So if you had more than one frame sets, you could load those in and it would read them in sequential order through the laser. But then you also need another file type, which is what they call a PRG file. And the PRG file just basically tells the laser how to read and how to find each of the files. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna get rid of everything in it, because these are other laser files that are saved in the folder. And we're going to, this is only, you have to set it up this way. You have to give it the exact same file name. So it's gonna be Punisher Outline 1. And then this is the file type. So it's looking for a file that's an ILD file called Punisher Outline 1. And then this is the
I believe it's the scan rate.
The scan rate, yep. And then this is the length.
The duration.
The duration. And we don't know what the I does.
We don't know if that inverts. We're not sure if it does anything. We tried saving one with it and one without it, and it didn't seem to make a difference. So
and we went through their files that come with the laser, and some of them had 9, some of them didn't. So we're not sure if that's necessary or not. But you have to list every single frame set that's in the folder, or it won't read them. So if we had more than one sets of frames that we created in the software, we'd have to list each of them and then give it the scan rate and then the duration. So
with the other listings that were in there, when we removed those, are those images now no longer on that card?
No, they're all there.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this as.
Okay, I got
so
you.
I won't lose one.
Helpful hint in this would just be to make your file names real short.
Yeah, and then it's a PGR?
PRG.
A PRG. And then we're going to save it with the SD in the Punisher Outline 1. Oh wait, it didn't like that. I know why. Here we go again. So what I'll do is I'm just going to cheat it. I'll do that, and then I'll save it, and then I'll go in after and I'll rename it the correct type of file. Windows won't like that, but it'll be okay.
And you're good.
Okay, so we got the PRG file figured out. We got it saved onto the SD card. Now we're going to pull it, insert it into the laser, and see what we've created.
Right. So just for a quick refresher, you'll end up having a file for each of your frame sets. And then you'll have your PRG file that tells the laser how to read or what to do. And they all have to have the same exact naming. So it has to be Punisher Outline 1, Punisher Outline 1, PRG.
I guess the problem is that my Word doesn't recognize what a PRG file is. So I don't know if that's like an extension or an upgrade I need to do. If anybody out there knows, let me know in the comments if I need to upgrade my Word from 2000 Enterprise, 2007.
Yeah, and then I wanted to go back and copy an existing PRG file, and I didn't want to accidentally corrupt it, so that the existing amazing lasers files. The other thing, Mike, I don't know if this matters to you, but there's so much play between the SD card reader slot and the frame that the first time I pushed it in, I literally almost lost it in the guts of the laser.
Well, the Q stands for quality.
Yeah, it stands for something.
So there is a logo that we'd already done in PRG mode, and even added an outline on it, you know?
Yeah, well, the outline would have only added a certain number. It wouldn't have been a very, very high number. I just think because of the organic shape of the eyes and the nose and around the mouth.
Okay guys, so as you can see, we've got a little bit of an imaging issue. It might have been the laser point count. Apparently the software can probably hire a higher laser point count, even though the laser may not. So it might be good, safe practice to keep it under 800 laser points. Again, that's the limitation of the Shed 6-watt programmable laser through the Light Elf software. But as you can see, we did get the image on there. Not as smooth as Learn Lizards, but again, this software package has its deficiencies. Like I said, special thanks to Nick Shaw and the guys over at Dowden Fine Arts Center for helping me go through that software and figure out its capabilities and its limitations, because I'm sure you guys want to know both of those things. So stay tuned. We will get into that, get into the software, give you guys a comprehensive review of that. Alright guys, you're checking out the Keaide 3D animated SD card programmable laser. Of course, the Amazon link will be in the description, so please make sure you check that out. I will also include Learn Lizards link to programming this laser in the description also. Special thanks to him. A big shout out to the guys at East Illinois University, Dowden Fine Arts Center, Nick Shaw, much appreciated. All of your help with the programming side of this, the software, things along those lines, letting us shoot this video in the Black Box Theater there at the Dowden Fine Arts Center. Just a phenomenal setup. Great folks over there. Love working with the university. I do it all the time. In fact, I will be doing a benefit for those guys who are coming up here in a couple weeks. But like I said, make sure you like the video, drop a comment on there if you guys feel the need to. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.